Oh, hey everybody. What is up? Jason Burmis here. Sitting in the park as the kids play on the playground as they just got off the swings. And as 4th of July approaches, you can obviously see they're setting up all the stuff for the fireworks and the festival tomorrow, etc., etc. And, you know, a lot of people know that I haven't even officially been on my own for a month. I'd say officially like 2.5, 3 weeks. That's when I put up the GoFundMe is probably official. That's 16 days ago. For the last month, I've been putting out a ton of content, right? So I've been pretty distracted, obviously trying to think about how I was going to make a living, et cetera, et cetera. And I missed a very important story that I'm probably not even really allowed to talk about on YouTube. But on, I believe, June 13th of this year, so about 3 weeks ago, New York State ended religious exemption waivers for vaccines on children. Without these waivers, there's really no way to send your kid to public school unless they get a medical exemption, which is almost impossible. For instance, even with the religious exemption that we were able to get, we had to fight tooth and nail for it. And we lost the first time and had to appeal it. Now, luckily, after the appeal, we got by. And I was extremely happy about that. If you guys have watched these walk and talks, you know I love my community. I really do. I think they have a great place here. The kids have good friends, they have a good education, they have a good after school program. However, I've already been talking about leaving, and I don't know that there's going to be a way to beat the system. And I'm not sure that I want to homeschool the kids either. And it's not so much that it would be taxing and trying on me, don't get me wrong, that would definitely be part of it. But I think that you lose a lot of the social aspects of growing up by not taking part in sports. And I know there's, other kinds of sports programs they can get into, but I think school does teach you a lot of social skills that are 100% necessary. So now what do I do? Well, perhaps I go to Pennsylvania. There's only about 4 states, I think, that don't have the religious exemption anymore. California being one of them recently, and I think Arizona being another one of them. So here's my question. Do I live in a free country where the state I'm in is now forcing the mandation of basically big pharma policy? And that's what I want to talk about, because I'm not here to tell you that the science of vaccines isn't real. That's not my beef. My beef is that if you look at the human experimentation that has been done in this country, not only by the government, by big corporations on behalf of the government, and how long it's been covered up, you can't trust them. We already know big tobacco lied and got away with it forever. We know that big sugar lied and got away with it forever. We know that big agro, aka Monsanto, who's now in bed with a big pharma company via the Bayer $66 billion merger, well, they're getting caught right now with Roundup, aren't they? They're losing huge lawsuits. And I remember a time, because I lived through it, that you weren't demonized if you didn't have the chickenpox vaccine. I got chickenpox. And I was even, watching some old school Comedy Central late night a week or so ago, trying to fall asleep on the couch. And they had a chickenpox party South Park episode on. And I thought to myself, man, this would never be allowed to air anymore because those things don't happen. And the hysteria regarding something as simple as the chickenpox is over the top. They want you to be more concerned about the measles in New York State than us possibly going to war with Iran. Well, I got to ask you, how many New Yorkers are going to end up dying in a conflict in Iran over how many New Yorkers are going to end up dying because of the measles? Give me a break. They don't care about that. And that's the other thing. They don't care. So, I've talked about Monsanto losing these lawsuits. I've talked about human experimentation. For instance, the Atomic Energy Commission, which is now the Department of Energy. It's something that is still out there. They injected retarded children with plutonium. 100%, just to see what it would do. And if you look at MK Ultra and how many of those things weren't classified, they were working with big pharma, private hospitals, and mental institutions, as well as universities. This is all real. So now I gotta ask, do I leave this state for my kids? And they don't want to go. They love it here. You know, I mentioned it today, and they said, yeah, our mom said that, and we don't want to go, Uncle Jason. And I don't really, it's kind of breaking my heart even to think about taking them. And I look at something like Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania, a couple years back, they just started mandating vaccines for public schools, but they still have the religious exemption waiver. You know, I liked Texas while I was there. That's a long ways away. You know, my family is here. I like seeing my brother. I love seeing my new nephew, William. I'm happy that if I want to travel a couple hours, I can see my extended family. It's good for the kids. And you don't get that everywhere. And the idea that, you know, New York City policy, or they're talking about this being in Rockland County, which, you know, 45, 50 miles above the city, Orange County, Dutchess County, all that area, it's a little bit more dense population-wise, but, you know, not over the top. The closer you get to the city, the more it's there. But the fear-mongering they've been able to do to induce this, and the pride in which Cuomo signed this, really makes me sick. I think they needed 76 votes for it to pass in the legislature, and it got 77, so it eked by. Now, there will be appeals, but we've already gotten the stuff sent home to us saying, hey, if you want to register your kids, they want to go to school here, they got to get these shots. And I believe some of them are for HPV and hepatitis. My girls are 8 and 10. They're 8 and 10. No reason for that. None. Zero. You know, they're not sexually active. It makes me kind of ill. And it makes me upset that now I'm going to have to start making these decisions and in rather short order. You know, school starts in another 2.5 months. It's almost nothing. It's less than 2.5 months now. So you guys got suggestions on where I can go, where I should move? Again, I've been talking about Missouri. And I hate to talk about it because I do think that racism is largely gone in most communities. But, you know, they are two little black girls. You know, I don't want to put them through some kind of crazy racist thing. You know, it's bad enough. There's still some people up here, believe it or not, in upstate New York where, you know, they've said that my niece looks like poop, and, you know, one of them has dropped the N-bomb. And to me, that's more poor parenting and a terrible home life than anything else. It doesn't really speak to, you know, the whole country or anything like that. But I don't know, what would you do in your position? I mean, I basically have 3 choices, right? I can homeschool them and stay here. We can move to another state, Pennsylvania or something like that, or we can cave and have them vaccinated from all these things that they don't need to be. And I don't know. I don't know what to do. What are you girls doing?
Can we go home now?
Can we go home?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, come on. If you don't want to be in it, let's start moving. You know the way. So it looks like we're heading back, but it is a concern of mine, and it's crazy to me that I'm not even supposed to have the conversation on this platform, right? Like it's frowned upon to even look at the evidence. Not that the things don't work, but that a corporation is looking to maintain its highest dollar value, and when you're dealing with something like this, it's extremely dangerous. Listen, we already know that doctors overprescribed opioids so that they could make money. And the purveyors of those opioids, what's up?
Your backpack's open.
You want to zip it for me? Thank you. And we know that when you mix medicine with money and profits instead of the well-being of humans, what do you get? You get corruption. You get a lot of it. And they don't care about all the people that ended up with Guillain-Barré syndrome. And they don't care about all the people that... What's up? She going to the bathroom? Oh. Well, we clean up dog poop here. That's what we do.
I'll hold the thing.
No, you will not hold the thing. We've had that discussion.
Ew.
All right, well, it's what dogs do. Hold the dog. If you don't clean up your dog poop, folks, you're a terrible person. You should not own an animal. Okay. Oh, and you know what I think also gets lost amongst you guys is that New York City's values and quote unquote supposed liberal values, and don't worry about it being open, are really not the majority of ours. We just, again, New York State is a huge state.
Look how big it is. Look how many people there are. The problem is about half of them, a little bit more than half, live in that one really condensed area that gets all the press. And it's not even recently, but for a long time now, those politics have been taken over. You know, Pataki, for instance, you know, no fan of Pataki, but he's the last, I think, Republican governor we had in the state. And even under Pataki, big government was creeping in. You know, he ended a lot of the nightlife in places like this one. For instance, you know, my county already had a 1 and 2 a.m., still does, cap on when you can sticker and when you can be open as a bar, right? But then he brought into fruition the binge drinking laws as well. That was a Pataki move. And what did that mean? Well, you can no longer do better than BOGOs. There's no all you can drink specials, etc., etc., etc. And I know that seems like reasonable legislation and regulation, but when you look at what a nanny state New York has become, you can do this, right? You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I did with the dog.
No, you didn't. There was other ways to do that. It worries me, and again, I'm not even gonna say it because I'm with my nieces, but you got somebody coming into the district attorney's office in the city that is now promoting young women to sell themselves. And that's, you know, I didn't even want to say that in front of them. But that is insane. Hey, don't worry about it. It's adult talk. That's why I don't really tell you most of the stuff that we do here.
We cross the street.
Yeah, we are going to cross the street. So, I don't know, guys. What do you think? Am I overreacting? I know many of you may think I am, but I don't think I'm overreacting. What should I do? Where should I go? How should I handle this? Are there lawyers out there that can help me? I mean, there are a ton of people that are going to try to fight this, but are they going to be able to? Think about the billions of dollars behind Big Pharma and that agenda. And think about all of the propaganda out there to push that agenda. It's worrisome. So guys, if you like what I do, we're doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos a day sometimes. This is video number 3. Did a breakdown of the Tucker Carlson and Trump situation earlier, as well as explaining to you guys the big time tech control grid that's being put out there via DARPA, and the Indy 500, really interesting video on that. And we cover it all here. We cover NXIVM, we cover Epstein, we cover Assange, we cover issues that actually matter. I've got a GoFundMe. That's how we're supporting ourselves here. That's how we're bringing you 30 to 50 videos that matter every single week. So guys, thank you so much, and I will be seeing you on the flip side.